Big Talk with Kanari Mugume every Saturday, 9 to 11 a.m. Only on Next Radio.
106.1 Next Radio. This is the Big Talk. Welcome all of you listening in Uganda and around the world. We are live on NBS television, and we're getting into conversations shaping, the top stories in this country. Today on the Big Talk, we take a look at the new cabinet that President Museveni just appointed. Too many people out, and you also have so many people that have been new entrants. But most of it all, government is now fully formed. But what does this new cabinet reveal about the future of this country in terms of politics? What does it reveal about succession politics? But also, what does it reveal about President Yoweri Museveni? I have a terrific panel to discuss all this. Dr. Patrick Wakidda, Member of Parliament, Kabwezi County. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Good morning, Kanre.
You're just fresh from the induction. It took about 3 days at Parliament. I don't know whether the induction revealed anything new that you did not know about Parliament, having been a researcher.
Absolutely. There are a lot of things that you learn every time you attend a lecture. In a human resource wording, it's called onboarding. Onboarding necessitates that you tell the new entrants in an organization the do and don'ts and where to go in case of whatever they want. So I saw a lot of information given to to members of parliament, which I felt it was good, because most of these members of parliament are new. To some of us who have been in parliament, corridors, we knew some places, but there is definitely a lot that we learned.
When you look at, there's been, of course, a lot of criticism of, members of parliament from the 11th parliament had already been bought for iPads, each costing about 2.5 million shillings, that the orientation is just another money-making scheme. You have directors who come through, tell you what to do, hand you books of rules of procedure. But what did you find necessary at the induction?
No, you see, the purpose of induction of new people in an organization is really to take them through the organization structure. So that if somebody wants, for example, to know the finance office, for example, somebody must know the levels where to go, the processes that requires of him. If somebody wanted to go to the office of the clerk, somebody must know, so that you learn the structure of the organization and how it functions. So it was necessary. We haven't gotten iPads yet. I heard you talk about iPads and all these things. All these materials will be given.
I saw the clerk saying that they're going to give you iPads, teach you how to use them.
I don't think there is an MP amongst us who doesn't know how to use an iPad.
That's what was baffling many.
No, to the contrary. These people, there is a perception outside here that a majority of members of parliament are not learned. But you'll be surprised. Most of those people actually know things. Do an analysis of that parliament and you'll find about 80% are graduates.
Well,
so it's...
I could see how some were struggling to even just swear in, read words, word by word of the swearing in.
No, you see, swearing in is a different thing, especially if you have never been in the eyes of the public. You are facing the whole population and you are fumbling with words. Definitely they will settle in and all things will be well.
Right. Let's get into understanding the cabinet. And once you saw that list, what came through your mind? What do you think President Museveni was communicating with that list?
I saw quite a number of people. I saw the old people who had been in cabinet. It looked like it's the same cabinet, which hadn't changed. Initially, when I looked, I saw the vice president, I saw the prime minister, I saw the cabinet looked, the same as it was. But again, there are new faces, young people. I was happy to see that at the finance ministry, you have Musasizi, who is young, representing the young population and probably forward focusing on the future. You have my system Senero being moved to a very serious ministry, Minister of Energy, it signifies a lot. It shows that you want stability, continuity, but you also want to project the future of the country. Let me tell you, this country, as we are transiting economically. We are transiting from a precondition to take off. We are at that stage where a country requires a lot of thinking, a lot of energy, a lot of strategic directions to be given. And therefore, you must maintain the foundation while looking at how to dip into the takeoff stage, which is the third stage where this country is moving. Therefore, without discussing the parliament, I would rather, the cabinet, I would rather start to think about where is this country? Where are we going? How are we going there? And how does the current management of government, the cabinet, fit in this? This country has defined the four sectors, the ATMs: agro-industrialization, manufacturing, tourism, and science and technology. And when you look at that, you begin to see how do these people fit in those dockets. Agriculture, you have had this, my friend Tumelaze. Tourism, who is there? Then you come to science and technology, and you go to enablers. Enablers, things that will make these ATMs succeed. You want power and energy. Who is there? Those are the major ministries you want to focus on.
Does it matter who is there?
Yes, it does. Because, you see, if you are going to look at works, which is an enabler of economic transformation, if you are going to look at energy and power, it's equal an enabler. You want to have that work so that it supports these areas that you're working on. I saw the Minister of Health being moved as the Chief Whip in Parliament. First, she was moved to, I think, to Science and Technology, Information Technology. Then she was moved to, to whip us. But let me tell you, initially I thought that was wrong. I did not think that in that sector of technology, you would get a health person to manage it. You need a very versatile person to run that sector because it's an enabler to where we are moving. Let me give you the history of economic transition. When you are moving away from a precondition to take off, it's an equivalent of a plane taking off. It's in the space. At that point, you make sure everywhere it's clear, so that when it's flying, there are no obstruction pulling it down. There are no obstruction to stop it to go. Now, this is where this economy is going, and you need to be very careful strategically on how you position people who will make sure this work. You need that. And I'm happy that there are people from whom we shall learn from, who have been there. I am happy that there are people who you've been criticizing every day, the likes of the old guys who have been removed. You have new people within that in those dockets. Of course, there are challenges that you are going to face. And I've had people say, we expected so and so to be there. Remember, the prerogative of the selection of cabinet is not a public prerogative. It is an individual who sits there and says, Paul Muir fits there. And he puts him there. Our work is to support those people who have been selected to make sure they deliver.
Thank you very much. Joining us on the show is Honorable Paul Muir, the Opposition Chief Whip, newly appointed. Good to have you on the show, Honorable.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. And also joining us on the show is the woman member parliament for Napak Nakut Faith. Honorable, good to have you on the show.
Thank you. Good morning, listeners and viewers, and to you, Canary.
Thank you very much for being here with us. Honorable Pomiel, I'll begin with you looking at the cabinet. First of all, last time I was with you, you were accounting success of the speakership race with yourself on your fingertips.
Yes.
Like you had the numbers, you were fully convinced that there are even NRM members of parliament who would vote for you and that the opposition had thrown your weight behind you.
Yes.
What changed in Kololo?
Well, first I won because when I was contesting, I was running on a 4-pillar model where I'd anchored my campaign. For the benefit of the listeners, you remember the first pillar was the restoration of rule of law in the parliament. The second was equity and inclusivity. The third was responsiveness to the aspirations of the people of Uganda. And the fourth was accountability. And when we contested, both, the Right Honorable Speaker got more votes than me. He was declared a speaker. I conceded. But when you look at the statement Honorable both came up with, he embeds the 4 pillars I raised in his 7 points he has to act on. Simplistically, one would say I lost a vote. But I articulated an alternative vision for Parliament of the opposition, for which wholeheartedly the Right Honourable Speaker took on all the 4 points. If you watched when I was congratulating him, all of us as the opposition, we said we throw our weight behind you for reasons that our alternative vision forms part of what you intend to do. And apparently, what only changed actually is the physical person winning. But if you are a bit analytical and a serious thinker, you'd realize that all the pillars on which I had anchored my campaign forms part of what is guiding the speaker now. So I would say, that's why I say I won in terms of the alternative vision. This forms part of what the Right Honourable Speaker thinks that's how Parliament should be ran. And like when I talked about budget discipline, reallocating money and compensation to committee, this is what he's talking about. So it would only be for someone who doesn't pay a lot of attention to detail who would say, oh, we lost. You know, that's what makes me to say that I won the election.
Let me ask, is that how bad the 11th Parliament had become? How bad the Parliament that Honourable Nakut Faith has been in had become, that you have opposition and NRM rallying behind the same points, that when they raise the points with which they are running on, they are so similar?
Yeah, to the extent that we said we not inhale the badge of dishonor. We all are, that guided us, all of us, and you see when you had the Right Officer saying, no, we need a reset. You understand? And we have tried even to demystify this issue of people becoming rulers when they are leaders, that everybody fears to say anything. That's why we have us and the Right Honourable Speaker. The lines are known, they are drawn, that we are very submissive to his leadership as the Speaker, but we cannot again be manipulated. That one he knows. And we accord each other mutual respect. We take him as our leader. Actually, we do total submission as far as the administration of Parliament is concerned. But we don't go below certain standards.
Let me ask you. The Honourable Jacob Bothoboth is running on a budget already inflated by the former speaker, because she thought she'd be the one in position. Over 20 billion budget of the office of the speaker. And then you add on the deputy speaker, leader of opposition and all. You already have a speaker who pledges loyalty to both NRM and PLU, a pressure group from the NRM.
Yes.
Why do you think this speaker is going to be different? What gives you courage to think that this speaker will be different?
I had the benefit of working with Honourable both under the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. He was my chair. But also too, and most important, when the interface, we showed him where the flaws are. And if you remember, when I made the declaration to run as the speaker, we clearly pointed where the problem is. And between me and you, you'll agree with me that the performance of Parliament is not about the speaker. Just like the performance, for instance, in the opposition, the performance of the leader of opposition is not about him as a person, but it's about the team he leads, the committees. And I think what the Right Honourable Speaker has been very clear even during our orientation, he has the powers to reallocate resources within to where the money is needed. And from what I've gathered, I think as a parliamentary commission, the budget is going to be passed, but we are going to reallocate the money to committees where work is done. And he has said that. We are wait to see.
Right. Honorable Nakut Faith, how does it feel remaining silent while Parliament is crumbling under your feet and yet you're the eyes of the population?
I think it is wrong to imagine that people remained silent. And our work was not hindered, by the way. The committees did their work. If you assess the number of reports that were filed in the House in the 11th Parliament by the committees, they did their work. People earned their salary and no one complained. So I don't know what you want to imagine that we did not do.
In the future, when we talk about the 11th Parliament, we talk about how corrupt the Parliament was as opposed to how many bills that you passed. That the evil overshadows the good deeds that you did.
Actually, on the matter of corruption, so far no one has actually come out to put in detail the breakdown of what went missing. By the way, what went missing? What people concentrated on is the lifestyle of the speaker as a person. That is lifestyle of a person. But to look at the budget, to analyze the budget of the Parliament of Uganda in detail and where the money went, that analysis is yet to be done. And I hope that it will be done so that justice is served to the people that deserve the justice. I don't remember members of Parliament missing salaries. I don't remember staff of Parliament missing to be paid. I don't remember people failing to do their work. So to a large extent, the purpose for which the Parliament existed was served. The 11th Parliament. Yeah, that's my perspective about the 11th Parliament.
I hear you, but when we talk about the 11th Parliament, we not just look at the lifestyle of the speaker, we look at the recruitment of hundreds of staff. I would say not in a proper manner. We look at the budgets of the speaker that kept on increasing every financial year. We look at staff of Parliament withdrawing money, erroneously. It's not just the lifestyle of the speaker, but how Parliament was run. I'm told that it was run as a personal property. That once you raise anything against the speaker, you are forced to shut up.
Now, I managed to serve and the Right Honourable Jacob Olanya and the Right Honourable Anita Mong. When we were campaigning for the Right Honourable Jacob Olanya to be the speaker, those were exactly the same things we were talking about. We were saying we want Parliament to a new face, we want a new method of work. Actually, there was a statement the Honourable Amongi said. She said, we want to breathe. We want to breathe. And so that the campaign took that line of we want members to be free, we want to breathe. That's when we were campaigning for Jacob Olanya. That meant to me, who was new in the 11th Parliament, that perhaps in the 10th Parliament, there was too much force. There was too much authority of the speaker exerted on the members because they were saying we want to breathe, we want space. So we said, let's change the speaker. And now we changed the speaker. We got Jacob Olanya. Unfortunately, he died shortly after 9 months. And then we got to Anita Mong, who, by the way, connected with every member. So we thought, okay, maybe the members are not there were no one complaining that they want to breathe, because that was what we were trying to address. Now we have a new speaker, and we are saying the same thing. we
You want to
needed. We want to breathe. It makes me conclude that perhaps that's how parliaments will always be run. That the next time we will get another speaker for the 13th parliament, we will also say we want to breathe.
Your respiratory system has been struggling.
Looks like the system, the way it is structured, looks, in my perspective, this is not about the speaker. It is about the entire parliamentary system that we adopted. Our parliament is run. Okay, you may replace a speaker, and then the system in which he operates. The speaker doesn't have to make all the decisions, by the way. The systems, the parliamentary commission runs. It will dictate what the speaker will also do. Now, that system is the way it is even now. It will operate. We've had an orientation of the office of director, clerks, director what. What do you want Jacob or both to do differently? What do you want? When there is a system, okay, you're saying the fight against corruption. I am happy with the Muzee's interest in fighting corruption, but to address that matter, it requires to analyze the entire process, the system of recruitment. By the recruitment, it did not start in Anita Among's time. The method that Parliament is using for recruitment now did not start in Anita Among's time. It was there before. That the recruitment method will be top people in government bringing their relatives to be deployed. That has been the issue. Recruitment in Parliament, an advert, I last saw it, I don't know when. It could be in late 2000 something, 2007. All those years up to now, employees are there, and they are your relatives, friends, and in-laws to big people in government. So to assume that Jacob or both is now coming to be the speaker and he will terminate those people, no, you're putting an axe on his neck.
Okay, so I thought you can actually now. I thought you can finally breathe, but looks like your respiratory system will still be struggles. But at least he can play his role. Let committees, for example, be facilitated.
Perfect.
To go and do their oversight work and not pull off their budget, as opposed to the 11th Parliament. You are part of a committee in the 11th Parliament. Did you struggle as it is portrayed out there as a committee?
I was part of the budget committee and the finance committee. I also led the select committee that made an inquiry into Posta Uganda. We didn't struggle. We had the money to do our work.
I would not expect the budget committee to struggle.
We didn't struggle. The finance committee, we did everything, the oversight work that we were supposed to do. In fact, the workload was way too much. That's the main challenge that we encountered. But in terms of having the resources to do our work, we did our work. The only challenge we had was in our first 2 years, we said we will do desk work. We will not go to the field. It was a choice of the committee. Do you blame it on the speaker? No. That's the problem. Now the committees are run by the leadership, the chairman, the deputy chairman, and the clerk to the committee. It is up to them to choose whether to be transparent to the members or not. Some committees will sit with members, discuss the budget of the committee, agree the work that should be done. Some committee leaders don't prefer that option. They prefer to keep their cards so that the members are only surprised. You know, there is a way power and money go together. It looks like when you're in power and you let go the control of the money, you lose your power. So the same thing cascades to the committee leadership. When a committee chairman knows that his power is in managing his budget, he will not share it with the members. He will now use it for whipping to say, okay, now, if you sign the reports, if you attend the meetings, you will participate in field work. I will send you to do more responsibility to do. We will now use it for whipping. So it depends on the committee. I hope that when we get the committee leaders now, the new ones, we will have another orientation specifically for them on how to run the committee. We've had an orientation already. There's a booklet that has been given on committee leadership, but I would prefer that a detailed conversation is done on how committees are run and the roles of the members in the committee. Let's cascade it down so that the committees can be functional. Because you might actually say, the speaker might actually say, okay, the committees will have their money, but then the power in the committee will hold it to them. They will keep their cards for keeping their control, and the members will be there doing nothing. So transparency, knowing what you have, what the work that is supposed to be done, is critical for fighting against corruption, or for accountability, for making everybody do their right work. So in terms of having committees do their work diligently, it's more than just money. It's also the skill to lead. You'll have a budget. Budgets have been there. Committees have had budgets. The budgets will be there, but the leadership, how to choose also. I know committees are, the leadership is going to be formed. I wish to congratulate the team in opposition. I saw their list of committee leaders that they have already designated for the accountability committees. By the Honorable Mwiri, congratulations. This is a powerful man now. The chief opposition whip is a powerful man. We hope that in the next few days, the NRM will also designate committee leaders. Once this is done, a training is necessary. To assume that people already know what to do to offer the leadership for a committee is wrong. Right. Because then they will do a function on behalf of the speaker. They will do the donkey work. 90% of the work is done by the committee. It's unfortunate that some committees can even finish a whole year when they've done no work. But that's whose fault is that? Whom do you blame? On the leadership of the committee. The speaker is not going to force you to call you every other time. I saw in Anita Among, she was trying her best to even call committees, members. The report has not come. When are you going to do to do whipping? To do whipping. That's not the job of a speaker. But that means the committee leadership must do their work to relieve the speaker from doing work of the committee. It's my hope they will do.
Okay. Honorable Wakidda, do you see Anita Among returning to Parliament to sit on the same bench with Rebecca Kadaga, Parsis Namganza? Some power has shifted so much in the last 2 weeks. So much enmity has been created. What do you think is going to be the fate of Among?
Let me first say something about what Honorable just mentioned. The parliament that you see is an institution. That institution has got its structure. You have the speakers, the overall manager, but you have an accounting officer of that parliament who is the clerk. And below the clerk, there are commissioners who are supposed to support the running of that institution. The biggest challenge outside here is that the whole institution has been portrayed as corrupt. I want to go specific to a budget, because that's what I understand very well. National budgets are drawn by different departments of government, including the budget for parliament. It's developed by the commissioners and brought for approval. The national budget is approved by the parliament as well. Most importantly, it is signed by the president for it to be functional. I don't want to blame anybody for making their budgets in their offices to anybody without faulting people who would have put a stop to it. Because doing that would imply that the speaker as an individual had so much power to the extent of forcing all of the MPs to approve that budget and also the president to sign it. Because the president must scrutinize that budget. And when he has put his signature, it's not a national budget. That's a question. When we were in Entebbe recently, this is what I observed. Most people expected the president to talk about corruption in parliament. But let me tell you what he did. They printed an article written by Dr. Ian Clark. And he distributed it to us to read. In that article, there was so less about corruption and so much about lifestyle shock. When you meet, you know, how do you behave? How do you project yourself among poor people? How do you project yourself? You're dressed very well. You are a public officer, putting on a suit amongst people who are putting on, you know, better clothes, or who are very poor. That's what about that article was about. Now, it could be that the former management of parliament showed a lot of excitement on what they had. And to a politician who is looking at continuity, is looking at how are the people perceiving this kind of behavior. I am looking forward to seeing the extent to which corruption in parliament can be unearthed, if any, and who will be responsible for that. I'm looking forward to that.
To that too.
Because you see, this institution has got processes. You have a director of finance. You have a clerk of parliament. You have commissioners. You have speaker. All those manage the resources of parliament, including recruitment. Now, like Honorable Nakuti has said, the behavior of recruiting relative in parliament did not start yesterday. I know for sure that the former, PS of parliament was from a certain tribe where the speaker was coming from. Did you know that? That a number of people who were there were actually coming from the same region. Do your analysis and see? Now, the time when Anita took over power, there was friction. That friction did not stop. The friction between Anita group and that of the Honorable Kadaga hasn't stopped in parliament. For the first time since Anita assumed office, I saw Honorable Kadaga sitting in parliament 2 days ago. You remember, Paul? We sat with her. That tells you the bitterness that has existed. If you look at it that way, then you see there has been contradictions among the two different groups. Now, what was your question?
My question is, do you see the way Kadaga returned to parliament for the very first time in many years? Do you see Among returning to parliament?
One is that before she became a speaker or even a member of SEC,
She was an MP.
she's an MP for Wakidda district. I would expect her to come and sit. These are offices you get after you've already achieved the first office of a member of parliament. That is important for her to know if she's listening to this. She should come and represent her people.
Those are your expectations, the reality, the atmosphere in parliament today.
By the way, let me tell you, one of the most popular person amongst members of parliament, as of the time I was in Chankwanzi, not long time ago, to 15th April, was Anita. Anita's fortune changed
2 weeks ago.
around from the 10th of May. The 10th of May, 11th, and by 12th, the posting by different groups on the social media started to attract negativity around her. But I still believe she has a big following in parliament. Anita embodies a certain character of a social being. She creates a relationship where it is hard to create one. Don't think that Anita is hated in that parliament. It will be wrong.
Well, maybe not hated, but that her relationships were transactional, facilitated by money and power. And now that the two have been cut off, it will be very hard to return to her former self.
It is time for her to check that. Amongst friends, you'll find people who come to you because of expectation. But there are people you stay with, even during the hardest time. One thing I wanted to make a point here is that there has been a lot of fear amongst people. And this is the fear. That people who are close to Anita are victims. If you go into parliament, you have that feeling. But here is the point. SEC had a resolution. That resolution was laid bare to the members. Support Anita. Yes, in writing. Support Anita and who? And Taiwa. Many people want to associate with power. That's the truth. They want to come closer to those who are powerful. So you are going to find many people started to come to Honorable Taiwa, Honorable Anita, going to her home, making relationship, because that is what the party had directed. The president came to us in Chankwanzi, and this is what he said. For us as a party and SEC, we endorsed so and so. We shall come to you and support our position. Now, everybody saw that that is the candidate of. And in fact, some of us started saying, okay, I think that's the right candidate. Supported the right candidate.
You also saw early endorsements through videos.
No, the endorsement was not, even PLU, about the 15th of March, supported in writing. The Secretary General of the party of NRM read the resolution of SEC and called on all the members of NRM to support Taiwa and Honorable Anita. Now, let me tell you, when you have been endorsed, you begin to have a strategy to win. You cannot take the endorsement for granted. So these people, the Taiwas, the Anitas, started creating a working team to make sure they win. Are you going to wake up and say, you guys who are supporting this person, you're wrong, when you are the one who gave them a direction? So will Anita fit within the parliament? She will definitely. Who knew that after this contradiction during the election of SEC in Entebbe, that you would see again Kadaga seated in the same house on the same row with the rest of the people? I think she should eat, swallow her pie and know that power is lent. It's given to you today. It can be taken away.
All right.
And sit down.
Honorable Paul Miro, do you see Among returning to Parliament?
Well, I've had the benefit of listening to my colleagues. And, when you are in a certain position, you have limitation, but for the record, I think what we are dealing with, if I'd become the speaker, I would institute a human resource and financial forensic audit, because it would bring out what the issue is. And the system, as my colleagues have said, they audit systems, they don't audit individuals. Once systems are audited, they would bring out the flaws. Who was the gatekeeper who did not actually do that? But also, when leaders act selfishly, budgets of committees were being managed by committees. And I happened to have been a leader in the Public Accounts Committee. whenever, and they would initiate our budgets by work plans and budgets. We would show what we intend to do and how much money we received. Yes. We actually would share it in the members, and even the works we would do, it was definite. We would have a work plan and show them we're going to do ABCD in this period of time. Actually, what I even saw, which was not during, you see, when we were in leadership, even at joining a committee meeting, it wouldn't be unilaterally be done by a chair. And you receive a phone call that Honorable Faith Lakut has adjourned the meeting. That it wouldn't have been that way. You would have to be in a meeting, as it had been called. Then you give reasons why you are adjourning a meeting. But things kept on going the other way. I want to say, one time, you know what she called whipping? The speaker, as you wanted to use our budgets to do patronage, a member who doesn't attend the committee would go and procure an invitation. And then they come to the committee, say, I want to go to somewhere. I said, but that's not within our work plan and budget. I refused. So a member cunningly went to the speaker, and of course the speaker, I think, was fearing to say no. He signed for others should travel. They went and traveled on our budget. We confronted the speaker. We said, you have a budget for travel. If you want to use the budget, please, next time use your budget. Don't use our budget. Because you are promoting a culture that people don't come to do work and come to you to travel because they are saying, you see, they are members of parliament. Use your budget. That's how firm we were. Actually, we had even created an association in parliament of chairpersons, where I was the vice. That whenever there are issues, we thought audience with the speaker. Because like what we are dealing with, for instance, why partially I may agree with them, there is a parliamentary commission in the parliament. The speaker is just the chair of a parliamentary commission. Under no circumstance would the speaker override the commission unless they have acquiesced in some illegalities, that they have lost their powers of the commission. That's why, you see, when the National Unity Platform said that no, we are removing this, we are appointing another person. You see, she can't also go scot-free, however much she may have been maybe a darling of you people, because Wakidda knows that I have a history with her. You understand, which history cannot be rewritten. You understand, but when it comes to what we're supposed to do, because as a speaker, if an organization which played in the commission says, we have withdrawn Mwiru, we are now appointing Kanare, what business do I have to say that, please, for me, I want Mwiru? You understand? Those points to excesses. That's why, actually, in leadership, no option is an option. Zero option is an option. That because you see, at the end of the day, people, all these issues keep on emerging. I think what we need to do...
Honorable, on the commission, just real quick, you also have a speaker who not just chaired, but also ran the commission like her personal entity. Two of the opposition representatives on the commission, the Honorable Zake and Joel Senyonyi, Honorable leader of opposition, never attended any committee sittings.
That's why
when there was a meeting, she only sent out invitations to the NRM members because they were the only ones who could agree to whatever direction the commission should take.
Actually, that was an irregularity. Of course, it also depends on the character of people. Because if you want legitimacy for the decision, that's why actually, you have not seen an invitation sent to Honorable Senyonyi to report at side headquarters or to IGG. You understand? Because it was not an accessory before, during, and after or whatever was taking place. But the point my sister Faith was making, I'm an opposition chief whip. I have a budget. I have the work cut out for me. If I allow, for instance, the speaker to overrun my function and what I'm supposed to do, and I keep quiet, because tomorrow I may have a personal need, and go to the speaker and say, you see, my children maybe have been chased out of school, and then the speaker gives me something. That's what we're actually getting wrong. In my view, that's why I separate my relations with the members from the assignment I have to do as a leader. But you see, because you see, we are blaming, okay, we can blame Honorable and Right Honorable Speaker Anita Among. But what about this team? Because, for instance, in the Parliamentary Commission, they take minutes. You understand? But you see, because of this service award, like I was here, they would take a right minister and leave space to fit in some. Because the members had acquiesced themselves in what was taking place. So at the end of the day, we need to apportion the blame. She may take the big chunk of it, but there are also these people we put in offices. What were they doing? They were onlooking when all this was taken. That's why I said that if in terms of body become the speaker, the meaning of my 4-pillar point is that I would do an human resource and then financial. Then on the issue of recruitment, which my brother and sister were talking about, in the government there must be a structure. Parliament it has a structure. That structure is actually approved by public service. And they say this is the structure of Parliament. When you recruit over and above the structure, because that issue must also be debated, what's the structure of Parliament? When you recruit over and above the structure, then the question would be, how are they being paid? You understand? I saw that one when we were investigating one time KCCA. The public service gave a structure of KCCA. The guys who wanted to employ their people, those in my sister's party, they made sure they recruited 40%. Then the 60%, they started using contracts. They were using contracts. So they would recruit as per 40%, and then the 60%, the big chunk, it was allowed for people bringing the relatives, bringing ABCD. Because if we want to address the human resource issue in Parliament, you start by asking for structure. So how many staff do we have? And how many? Because it's actually, like what you said, it's not possible. I don't have a relative at Parliament, but I have friends who work there. But if today, as leadership of Parliament, we say, can we have a structure? And the Parliament Commission passed a resolution that we're only paying as per those in the structure. It wouldn't be an illegality. What personally I would not condone is you see that now that the people have been doing it this way now, it has become a practice. Now I'm also a big person. I also have a relative. Should I also bring? And where? Because you understand. Because I'll also say by being opposition chief, I'm also a big person. Yes.
Well, let's take a break. Let's take a break.
I don't know where I take my relatives.
When we return, let's take a look at the cabinet list and what the list says about the future of the politics of this country, and also have a conversation on the succession. 1 Next Radio, this is The Big Talk. We're also live on NBS Television. In the studios this morning, I'm hosting Honorable Dr. Patrick Wakidda, Member of Parliament, Kawel County, Honorable Nakut Faith, Member of Parliament for Napark, and Honorable Paul Mwiru, the Opposition Chief Whip. I thought we could have a conversation on the cabinet list and the people that have been nominated to deliver for the next 5 years. However, this list is now characterized by debates on competence, loyalty, reward, succession, and now dual citizenship. But what does this list say about the future of the politics of this country? Honorable Nakut, when we talk about competency and understanding the issues on ground, one of the issues that's come up has been, finally, we can now have a member of a minister for Karamoja coming from Karamoja. As if there was anyone coming from eastern Uganda that they would not deliver. What are your 2 cents on this cabinet list?
First, to address the question of the Karamoja ministry, I think it's not about where you come from that matters. It's about your attitude towards the job and the people you're going to serve. I think that's very important. So, yes, we have ministers from Karamoja in the Karamoja Affairs Ministry. It's not the first time we're having ministers from Karamoja. Actually, the one they are replacing as a minister from Karamoja, Minister Lokiris Peter. Before Lokiris Peter, we also had in the 90s. In the 90s, we had Pulkol, Honorable David Pulkol. He was a minister for Karamoja Affairs. So we have had a blend of minister from home, minister who is not from home. Each of them has their strength, each of them has their weaknesses. So to say that now that we have ministers from Karamoja, we should be celebrating. I think I am reserved to celebrate. Let's allow them chance to do their work. Then we can judge when they have served, because we cannot judge them based on the work that others did or did not do in the past. I would think it's important to support them, to serve. Let's give them like a year, and then we can say, okay, they're managing, they're fitting. Of course, the advantage is that they know the region. So in terms of knowing what the problems of the region are, they don't need to be reminded. They know what needs to be done. They just have to do it.
Does it make a difference
that they know?
No, that you have one of your own as a minister of the Karamoja players.
The difference will be seen when they work, because I've told you we've had already before, and there was not much a difference anyway. A difference will happen when you have a ministry that is equipped with what they need to serve. As it is at the moment, I think the affirmative action ministry for Karamoja is the least funded. They only have money for salaries and fuel. They don't have money to even to convene a meeting. So I will be expecting too much from this team. That's what I'm saying. Let's give them a year or two. Then I will come back here to explain whether they are doing right or wrong. But we are there as members of parliament from the region. I'm also present to support them where they need support. My overall image about the cabinet. You know, a cabinet is a committee that the president will use to deliver his vision, to deliver his manifesto, his commitment to the people of Uganda. So he has these 5 years. I am very sure he has assessed that this is the team that will help him deliver. It's about him. It's really not about us or any other people. It's a team that will help him deliver. The people of Uganda demand the things that the commitments he gave during the campaign. There were pledges. I'll give you a few. He said we want a qualitative leap into the middle income status for Uganda. That's what he said. He said we want to eliminate poverty. So he wants Ugandans to live a certain good life. Now, he has appointed a cabinet that, in his view, he thinks will help him deliver on that assignment. For us, as representatives of the people, and also the Wananchi in Uganda, we are not bothered about whom he appoints as a minister. We are bothered about his promise to the people. It is him.
The individuals in these different dockets do not matter.
They do
as long as there's delivery of services.
I think so. That is how it should be. That's how it should be. But in real sense, because of the kind of politics we are in Uganda now, people think that when a minister is appointed, so we have eaten. The region has benefited. The district, the constituency has eaten. They even castigate people. They castigate MPs who have not been in their list, because they think now you have not been able to lobby enough.
You were
They assume you were a failure. In fact, I have even had people calling me, we thought you were going to make it. So because you have failed to become really. That's not. It shouldn't be. And I wish to use this opportunity to address the citizens of Uganda, especially those of you who think that who assess your MPs. And then you feel like this one can be the minister of such a place, or this one can do. Maybe you've assessed their capacity. I have sympathy for you. That's not your job. That's not your job. The issue of a minister is to serve the president of Uganda. It is his cabinet. It's not our cabinet as a country. The people you own, let me tell you, Ugandans, the electorate, you own us, the members of parliament. You control us. You stop it at that. Cabinet is a thing of the president. Even if he chooses to reshuffle today, it is because he wants something else. Maybe he has changed his mind. But before I leave that point, there is an issue of Uganda, a transformation that he wants. The president wants a transformation, and he when during his swearing in, he said, when he summarized his speech, he said, this term is no sleep term, no sleep. This term is no corruption. Now it means in his cabinet list, he has looked through those issues and he is saying, this is the team that will help me deliver. They will help him deliver. Term no sleep. It means they have to work. They have to work every day and night to make sure that Ugandans get a qualitative leap to the middle income status, to make sure that poverty is eliminated in this country. They will work. I only hope that he's going to spend a good time inducting them. He's going to spend a good time giving them the deliverables, like performance targets, and the performance targets that are distributed in terms of mid-term, on the immediate, on the long term, so that it doesn't in future regret and say that these ones did not deliver. Maybe they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, but there's debate on the dockets should be filled with individuals who have background on those particular sectors. That
would be an advantage. If there is an individual with the technical knowledge in a particular sector, that is an advantage. But if there is an individual with good leadership skills without the knowledge of that sector, that individual can still benefit from the technical team that the public service has recruited in all these ministries. We have the recruitment procedures for the public service are robust in terms of getting people to work with. For every sector in Uganda, the people are there. What a minister needs is good leadership skills to benefit from the skill of the people. So it doesn't really matter. But when a minister has the sector knowledge, then he can help, he can direct more, he can even say no. If there's some technical team members if the technical team wants to derail him, he can say no. But if a minister doesn't have the sector knowledge, he will have to say yes to everything the technical people are saying because he doesn't know.
Including being misled.
That's unfortunately.
Honorable Nakota, I wanted to ask real quick on the what is the president communicating with this cabinet list on the future of the politics of this country? Many have said, look, this is a transition term. There's a visible hand of the CDF, General Moses Kainerugaba. We could see his visible hand in the choosing of the leadership of parliament. What do you think this cabinet list spells for the future of the politics?
Maybe the president is communicating a transition. That's just maybe. But also maybe that the pressure group PLU is just taking advantage of the situation, because I have noticed that a few moments before an appointment is announced, the PLU announces it first. Maybe they are just smart, so that when it is announced, then people will pay allegiance and say PLU is the way to go. It's politics. And I think I like it the way they are playing. So Ugandans will be like, I think it is good to partner and ally with PLU because whatever they say is implemented. Maybe the president is not even communicating it to them, but they are sharp in knowing what he is about to do. And they announce it too quickly to own the glory. I think PLU is really smart, but it points to a transition where power is. Now Ugandans have been wired differently in this, using this cabinet list, that okay, if you want to position yourself in power, PLU is the way to go, because PLU, apart from the position for Dr. Chris Bariomunsi, Honorable Namere, that had a clash with PLU, the rest PLU calculated very well and announced their positioning before that. PLU, I think, is a smart political group, pressure group. They know when to speak. They only miscalculated twice. So two is a small, maybe 10 out of, they failed on 10 out of 100. So they succeeded in 90%. I would think every political party should just do that. You position yourself to grab so that the Ugandans can run to you for power. So Ugandans begin to worship you. They begin to treat you like this is a group that can deliver for you what you want.
I'm yet to see you and Dr. Wakidda subscribe to PLU. I'm yet to see you and Dr. Wakidda subscribe to PLU.
Let me say something, what Honorable Nakoti is saying. What does this signal to the politics of this country?
Because he has set the ball rolling now.
In relationship to transition, two significant things have happened. The announcement of the current speaker was not done by NRM. It was done by the Secretary General of PLU.
Yeah.
I happened to attend a meeting, a party in Mukono on the 16th at Honorable Oboth's home. It was a thanksgiving for him having gone through as a member of parliament. Many of us attended. Many people attended that meeting, that party. The Deputy Secretary General of NRM
Was there?
Rose Namayanja was there. The spokesperson of NRM, Honorable Dombo, was there. The Director Mobilization of NRM was there, was among the people who were there. The Chairman Electoral Commission of NRM, Tangodoy, was there. But see, the announcement was did not come from these people. And the message was, I bring you the message from the CDF, who is my chairman, and also a message from the Commander-in-Chief, who is the President, that the next speaker
Is this
not that you should support, but this is the
This is it.
the appointed.
This is it. We all stood up, clapped,
Of course,
and then
you
he told us to remain standing, including those people have counted. I said, now, I want to believe that this is strange. Strange in the sense that there is a party in
Yes.
government,
Yes.
and it's being commanded by a pressure group called PLU. Let me tell you, at that time, if they told us sit down, stand up, we were
If they said laugh, you say how loud, jump how high.
and everybody wanted to show loyalty. At that point, everybody wanted to be seen in support of this. I said, okay, is there still NRM? And that's a question that I've carried. Thereafter they interviewed me, I told them, well, as I believe in PLU, I want to maintain the fact that I'm still an NRM, the party on which I was nominated. I want to also believe that there was a communication from the party on who to support for the position of the speaker, and that position hasn't changed in as far as I was concerned.
And who was that? I think
They hadn't
communicated.
They hadn't communicated it to me. As a party, we have changed. But there was a maintenance of tweets. And sometimes when I wake up and the mosquitoes are disturbing me at night, I go on my phone to check what is happening. And the announcement was being made on tweets. I said, okay, who is in charge? That's one significance.
So how does it feel belonging to the NRM and it's purely you calling the shots?
Wait a minute. The other significance that I saw, when the president was swearing in from the Chief Justice, the instrument was handed to somebody who also handed it to the father. Did you see that?
Yes.
Yes, I saw.
Did you see that?
Yes.
So you are discussing things, but we must be discussing the most significant events that happened.
Good.
And for me, I saw those events. What that means is that we are actually in transition at a very fast speed.
I think so.
Now, you asked me, do you belong to PLU? Of course I subscribe to it. But PLU is not yet registered organization. It's a pressure group within the NRM. And I can tell you, I had the Honorable Nakuti question a number of things. But let me go to the point of consideration for a member of parliament. I sympathize with our source. In my community, everybody has been calling me, said, why
did you miss the list?
Why did you miss on the list? The public had already appointed me, and I want to thank them for appointing me. But you see, the fact that I did not appear on the list does not reduce me from being the person you appointed, you elected.
Yes.
And I have told everybody that in every position you are able to make a contribution.
Yes.
I am going in that parliament with a very open eye. For me, it's about service delivery. It has nothing to do with me and the benefit I can get. It's about what is it that I can drive down to that community which elected me. And that's, for me, that's the primary objective. I've seen the ministers who have been appointed. I've seen the Minister of Local Government. I've seen the Minister of Education. I've seen the Minister of Health. I've seen leaders who have been appointed. My target is, what is it that I can support them to deliver? By the way, the worker in Parliament is bigger than the work of a member, a minister.
Exactly.
If you're in a committee and you're able to drive service delivery down to the population, you are doing well. Ministers are politicians. They do much to do with politics, to keep the government popular. It's nothing to do with service delivery. It's nothing. The cake is cut in Parliament. Even if the minister comes to Parliament to ask for the money for their sectors. Now, for me, I want whoever is listening to me, I am a technocrat. I want to use my knowledge as a technocrat and less of a politician. Now, for those who are saying, why did Nakuti miss on the list? Thank you for giving confidence to us that we deserve it. But the appointing authority says, Nakuti is good in the parliament in this sector. And I've been reliably informed that was a consideration. You do not want to deny parliament of technical people and to put them in a political sector. So people must get the difference. I can tell you, in my village, the place is quiet. Because for them, Wakidda is a ministerial material. Why did he miss?
Not only in your village. Even in Kampala, I have met a few people who are saying that man is supposed to be
consistently told
minister.
I have consistently told people that I would have let down if I'd been appointed a minister. Because for me, that's not what I'm looking for. I come from a very poor community. I have had a minister in that community, and the community remains poor.
It does remain poor.
I went this parliament not for a selfish interest for myself. You know this. I am not looking for money. I'm not looking for prestige. I am looking for, how do we support this government to change the outlook of our communities where we come. Karamoja has had ministers, like they told you. By the Pulkor in the 90s was a star. But Karamoja continues to be poor.
Sure.
Buked, I have had a minister for the last 30 years. But we are we have the highest in the country of youth unemployment. Number one, youth unemployment in the community. If ministers change the communities, there are places where every year they appointed ministers, but it remains poor.
So then you're saying that the debate on regional representation on the cabinet list is irrelevant?
It is actually irrelevant. I think for me, the issue is the 4 sector models and how we are going to support those sectors to deliver, to change the socio-economic transformation, the 10, the leap that we are talking about. That's what is going to define the manifesto of NRM. If the president was thinking about, let me appoint this person here because as a technical person, they would have not removed a chain from the Minister of Health and put him first in ICT. They would have not done that because, as far as I know, she is a medical doctor.
Right.
So
Janad would have been
the whole thing, and I want a candidate to put this. All of us in the 12th Parliament, our focus should be to ensure 1, macroeconomic stability, 2, industrialization, 3, to ensure that we see agriculture transformation, 4, to ensure that the sector, science, technology, and innovation is implemented to the core, and that we support the enablers of economic growth, electricity, road infrastructure, peace and security, that they move, and then the social sector is implemented. 1, the health, education, that social sector. Can we get it to work? Because let me tell you, it is useless for you to pour water in this and it leaks this way. So government is trying to fight poverty at a grassroots level. You want to make sure the health sector is working. That my grandmother, my mother, does not need to sell the little wealth they have accumulated to get that treatment or to take their children to school. So a 360 outlook of an economy is necessary for us to move to create a stable macroeconomic for this country.
Before I move on to Honorable Mwiru, I wanted to ask Honorable Nakut, you see how passionate Dr. Wakidda is.
Yes.
It's as if things are going to turn around after a couple of years.
He's hopeful that things will turn around.
And it's good to have hope.
And I agree with you.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it comes down to where the budgets are, where the money is, what the country's priorities are, and then it also comes down to when the budgets are allocated, where this money goes. And then the stealing of the money. you cannot blame him for being passionate to want to work for Bugwedi County. My question is, what happens between this passion and the implementation of these programs? Because you want basic needs. I cannot imagine a health worker being stuck in an ambulance transporting an Ebola patient from the border district of DRC to Chibuli Hospital. Why? Because there's no basic services for an Ebola patient at the border of the DRC, when we know that Ebola has been coming from the DRC for a couple of years, even Sudan and all. What happens in between there? What goes wrong that you cannot provide for the basic? That you cannot just say, why is there no medicine in the hospital? Why is there no... The recent report from the UBO says 1,000 parishes in this country do not have a single primary school.
Actually, among those parishes are mine. I have 50% of my parishes don't have any primary school.
50%?
50%.
Single primary school, private or government?
Nothing. No primary school exists. And the children are just growing up like wild trees. So
when I come to Karamoja, I see a lot of office buildings for NGOs, for government, and what are they doing?
So
That's a good question. It appears even the NGO sector is overwhelmed, or maybe because of the Trump effect, that they are unable to make a contribution. But even before the Trump effect, you would see the focus of the NGOs going to advocacy. That's where they would wish. That's where the donors wish their money would go. Because they wouldn't then spend it on building a school, building a health center, supporting people on the 4-acre model. It's things that transform lives. Their focus is on government, advocacy, lobby, training people. So even with the big budgets that have been coming to Karamoja through the development partners, much of that money has really gone on advocacy. But now that with the Trump effect, there is no money, there is a gap. But before I address that matter, of
conclude the appointment.
A budget generally for the country, there is an issue we were discussing on where the power is. There is something I had missed to tell you. The President of the Republic of Uganda is a very knowledgeable man and very wise, to a point that for the last 40 years, he is the most unpredictable person in Uganda. You cannot predict him. You cannot read him. The moment you predict him, he will change. If he realizes an information has leaked, he will take another course. So he's the most unpredictable person. But for him to allow PLU to predict him to the dot, no, it has allowed. He has allowed. And I think Ugandans should just know that the PLU should be accepted. He has allowed.
Maybe he's the lead of PLU.
Who knows behind the scene? But on the issue of budget now, coming to your question.
Briefly.
Budget for these priorities that Honorable Dr. Wakidda has said. The priorities indeed are known. It's not that we don't know them. And to add on the fight against poverty, now you want to improve trade, you want to improve the social services, education and health, all those things. The priorities are known. But the budget, translating these priorities into a budget. In fact, that is one of the things I want to put my eyes on as this cabinet begins to do their work. How the beautiful speeches, how the Kisanja, no sleep, Kisanja, no sleep, no corruption. But corruption doesn't just happen last minute. It happens at budgeting. Let me see where the money will be going. We will begin the next budgeting cycle in the next 3 months. Let me see the priorities. Where the money? Will it really go to support the 4-acre model, to support the people from the fight against poverty, to support the qualitative leap into a middle-income status, people to be rich, for Ugandans to be rich, to drive those nice cars? So then Ugandans will drive, what is this car they destroyed and it among for? Rolls Royce. Yeah, let's see how we normalize the driving of a Rolls Royce. Then we'll know Uganda is now rich. But the budget, for it to speak to that, let's see how much money will go for livestock farming, commercial livestock farming. How much money will go for commercial crop farming, commercial fishing. Now I want to see where that how much will go. On education, are we going to ensure that 100% of our parishes get a school, to give our children a right to access a school? Are we going to have UPE? Now we have UPE, but UPE is optional. In fact, I'm drafting a motion on the issue of UPE. UPE, as it is now, it is still optional. Many children in Uganda cannot go to school. Everything around them has hindered them from going to school. It's not compulsory. So if we have basic education and it is compulsory for everyone who is a child who can attend at least primary, let them have an education. I want to see the budget speak to that. If we can increase 4,000, that we pay for every pupil per year, per term, the 4,000. If we can improve, I want to see in the budget.
But let me ask you, what do you as NRM MPs be discussing in the caucus if you do not discuss these basic issues?
We do discuss, but
so what happens
you know what
there?
happens in caucus is most times the agenda is limited. We don't have a whole day, whole week. As you know, the things are many to be discussed. There are times when we have had a caucus specifically to discuss only one sector, and the caucus ends when you've not yet handled the other. We had a caucus strictly for coffee. We discussed it in detail. We had a caucus strictly for roads. We had a caucus strictly for security. So maybe that arrangement should continue. I believe that the government chief whip will make sure that we have these kind of conversations.
Okay.
So before you jump on that issue, Uganda seems to be reminded the budgeting process. I want to implore the president of Uganda, if he is watching, I hope he is, that his communication on what he wants Uganda to be during the campaign, and for which the people trusted him for, his communication during his swearing in, let it be reflected in the budget. Because the budget does not originate from parliament, it originates from the executive. And even when it comes to parliament, the members do appropriation, but they do not do rebudgeting. They do not do. So it means the person responsible for the budgeting for Uganda is actually the president of the Republic of Uganda. I implore you, Mr. President, put that all those promises in the budget. We will support you.
All right, let's take a break. Let's return with that feedback and Honorable Muir's opinion on that, and also opposition team that's been lined up to hold government accountable.
Big Talk.
1 Next Radio, this is the Big Talk. We're live on NBS television and discussing the next 5 years and how they look like. In the studios this morning, Honorable Paul Muir, Opposition Chief Whip, Honorable Nakot Faith, Woman Member Parliament of Napak, and Honorable Dr. Patrick Wakidda from Bugwedi County. Honorable Kabwedi, I beg your pardon. I don't know why I keep saying Bugwedi. Kabwedi. Honorable Paul Muir, the opposition has lined up a team. When you look at the list, of course, it's unfair to ask you to judge yourselves. But what is your agenda this time round? To be able to hold government accountable.
Of course, the issue is how to mirror government in the sense as to what is maybe the strategy, but the agenda remains the same, because the agenda is constitutional. The office of the leader of opposition is both constitutional and it is within the Administration of Parliament Act. Those offices. Our work, for instance, the shadow cabinet produces alternative policy statements to those produced by government. My work as the official opposition whip and the leader of opposition is to supervise those processes and ensure that we give alternatives. I normally hear people say, but maybe before, I want to congratulate my sister and brother for having made it on the People's Cabinet. And as since I'm the only member of the Appointments Committee here, I think I want to approve them for that purpose. Yes, but as you said, our work, of course, you heard both of them say what the president said, that this time is no sleep, no corruption. Impliedly, it's an admission that the previous one was full of corruption and sleeping. That's what I infer from his statement. But now that one means that now, as our part, other than the alternative policy statements, we are supposed to be on the oversight as the opposition, because when after appropriation and the budget is passed, the money is expended and the one executing the budget is the executive. Because the Constitution under Article 263, it establishes the Office of the Auditor General and Office of Parliament. They produce a Auditor General's report, which is laid before Parliament. And under Article 264, we are supposed to hold everybody to account. And the Constitution and the Public Finance Management Act and the Treasury Accounting Instructions. It is us who heads the accountability committees, who must scrutinize the Auditor General's report and report back to Parliament. That's an oversight in that sense. But even on the other hand, we shall be encouraging members. We are going to come up with a target, a checklist as our office, so that the members must generate business. Like my sister, the other time she did her work and she brought a law which decowed the parties. Faith, she went on record that she was doing her work. but now it is going to be the duty of all other of us to engage our members and show the expectation that yes, that in a term it was in our term that we expect matters of national importance from a member. We want to set a target for questions for answer. We want to set a question for motions, which I may remember, and then also to ensure attendance of members so that they make an input.
How do you foster unity amongst yourselves as opposition? I covered the 11th Parliament. I remember a time when there was a debate of the amendment of the UPDF Act. The leader of opposition told the floor that they were going to boycott, and they moved out of Parliament. When they got to the boardroom, they were disagreeing on what the leader of opposition had actually done, because some of them said, let's be on the record and at least read this minority report. Actually, it's only one member of Parliament who stayed on the floor on the side of the opposition. How do you foster unity?
And who was that?
I think it was Jonathan Odur.
Yes.
The rest of the members of Parliament were saying you cannot announce that you are boycotting a sitting like this one, and yet we're supposed to be debating. Who did you communicate to that you're supposed to boycott?
One, there are two things. First, that was the 11th Parliament, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm the opposition chief in the 12th Parliament.
Headed by the same person.
Yes, but when we went to Kololo, there was a message of unity. By the number of the votes we got.
By the number of votes he got, I actually sensed that the opposition in the 12th Parliament is united. The only thing they disagreed with was the position for Deputy Speaker, because every party had a candidate. You had a candidate from PAPF, you had another candidate from UPC. So you didn't have one candidate.
Yes.
But for your position,
maybe it had everything to do with the candidate.
Maybe.
No. I'm saying an approach now. You see that now then too, when we have managed to engage all the whips of other political parties, and actually I'm starting with an engagement of them, so that we cut out our work and know how we are going to operate. That's the first thing. Two, and most important, I know, yes, members need guidance. If someone missed out on a ministerial appointment, and MPs live a lonely soul. If they have no guidance in Parliament, they can easily turn into being a transaction, like the problem they've been talking about. But they need guidance all along to know that actually the government does not need you. If you are in opposition, your work is to provide an alternative to government, to critique what government is doing so they do it right. That in any case, even if you don't sell out, they will in any way carry the day because they have the numbers. But it does you good to go on record. I'll give an example. When we are approving the Vice President, the Prime Minister, the law requires that the law puts the ministers 21. But the law gives a latitude, the question, to the executive moving a resolution of Parliament to extend the numbers. When we stood up to talk, people said, why you leave it to just go? You are going to cause a problem and enmity with people. But I made sure I went on the floor and told people and helped people to say that, look, the latitude which is allowed by the Constitution is not automatic. You understand? Who knows that if they were getting competent minister, maybe we needed 21 cabinet and 21 state. But where appointment now has to bring in other factors, the gender, the region, the short, the toll, and other colonial factors. That means you are blustering the cabinet, not because you are actually speaking to the constitutional provision, because it should be under very exceptional circumstances under which you would expand. And I think my colleagues here, if they knew, if they first appointed the cabinet and then came for the extension, I think they'd appointed. Maybe if many of them knew that they were not there, maybe they would also vote along with me and take the right decision. Because we are saying
point on clarification
yes.
on this. You see, for the first time I saw that Ugandans, most times, we don't pay attention to things.
Mm.
The same number of cabinet ministers you had in the 11th parliament is the same number of ministers you have today.
Yes.
81.
So you are approving something for what has already been done in the past.
Yes.
And you think you are approving it today.
No. I think maybe you are missing a point. The Constitution says that there shall be 21 cabinet ministers.
Yes.
And there shall be 21 state ministers. But it gives a latitude that if in the wisdom of the executive thinks they need more ministers, you understand?
The question I'm trying...
Yes, than those who are there. They can come. That's what is a requirement every session.
Yeah, because we have not amended
the point I'm trying to put to you
yes.
is that in the wisdom of opposition, why did they not raise this issue in the 11th parliament, where already the number of ministers and state ministers were more than the constitution required?
At the beginning, they actually did.
That at every approval of the vice president, prime minister, a motion must be moved.
It's a norm. It's a norm. It's done every after 5 years.
But the point I was making, that if you went for rationalization, and the public is complaining about a big cabinet, big governance structure, the way we are, maybe the president would have shocked, would have erred and said, "Oh, let us test by having 42 ministers." After all,
and we see
after all, they have no, even some of them have no budgets, proper budgets. They are not releases. You understand?
Yeah.
And we see what will happen, because in effect, you all know that the minister of everything is going to be President Museveni. Because when we've been talking about this performance we've been talking about, it's window dressing.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's going to be the Minister of Finance to decide who to release money to. There was a time when someone minister was in the Minister of State for Lands and Urban Development. The whole financial year, they released 300 million. So, and what she did was to use that money and access it to move around. So that issue came. So we asked her that, now you are a colleague, how did you go to that level? She was saying, but you see, these people, they put me there as a minister. They gave me a vehicle, they gave me a bodyguard, and I know how to, they have a work plan, and there's no release, and there's no work. So then how do you spend this money for? What were exactly supervising? that you see when but anyway, there are things to which we needed to understand the correct way. That so our work as the opposition, we formally make responses to the budget, and even when the president addresses the nation, the leader of opposition makes a response to the state of nation address, meaning that we give the alternative lenses to our colleagues, that these are how things are supposed to be. You understand? So I'm very optimistic.
Whether they take them on or not.
You see, to me, that is not for us. That's why when I talked about Parliament, that's why I told you that the issue of the speakership, all the 4 issues I raised, the speaker picked them. As well, they're going to implement them. Now that's another matter. You understand? But when again it comes to the to us, it's our duty even to convince, because the way I've seen my sister and my brother here, I see us, we are going to be on the same page on most of these things. You understand? Because I saw my brother Wakidda seeing what actually I had seen. Okay, for me I was shocked. For me I was shocked, because for us we do scenario building.
Yes.
And I knew Moses was supposed to be vice president, so that the transition is complete. You understand? Because I saw the handover of the army to him, And actually, the president gave him more power than any other CDF has ever had. You understand? So when I saw now the usurping the powers of the party and imposing now a candidate on you, and I was seeing where direction it was going. So to me, the only thing which it misses actually, like us who do scenario building, that it was just about making it complete. That he would put the son in the waiting lodge, so that in the case of anything, the son just takes over constitutionally, because the law would say the vice president will take over. And 6 months announce the election, but of course they will not announce. After 6 months, they will call for Constitutional Review Commission. Then they take another 2 years, and they try to take a center stage. But in all this, God does his own things in his own way. Without I didn't want to talk about anybody, but my sister, she had made a public statement that she had decimated the opposition in the 11th Parliament, and that she would help us in the 12th Parliament. Our God, some of you believe in the God of Abraham, but for me again, we also believe in our God here, other than that one of that place where the bombings actually are taking place, where God is and the bombings are taking place. So God does things in his own way. You understand? That did not come to pass.
That she was walloped instead.
That's what I'm saying. You can plan all these things.
Okay.
And tomorrow, Honorable Wakidda will become the president. Do you know why? Do you know why?
You don't have to
Professor Isufulule. First wait. Professor Isufulule.
not even dreaming about
No, that's what I'm saying. Professor Isufulule became the president when he was picked from Nairobi. Picked from Nairobi to say, please come and be the president. If you did this cost analysis, you would see that actually, I also saw in the Colorado, when the instrument of power were given to the president, actually the president, to have them or give them to the technical people,
He gave it
he gave them to the son. You understand? I said, it was a message. If you did this cost analysis, you would see what the direction we are taking.
Okay.
But
Don't put on the Wakidda in trouble.
Honorable Nakut, just 1 minute on the opposition lineup and matching up the government in holding it accountable.
I think
Honorable Paul Mwiru's
I am confident that this team of the opposition is going to do a good job putting government into check, doing their work. Now we have a very experienced man in Honorable Paul Mwiru as a whip.
a scenario builder.
So he's able to predict the next action and to prevent or even advise better. I think that is...
He built a scenario and said, let me run for speaker.
But he got it wrong.
Let me run for speaker. If I can get 100 votes or thereabout, if I miss a little opposition.
Exactly. His constituents wanted him to be low.
Yeah.
So when he became a candidate for speaker, they felt betrayed. That now they have duped you, you will fail from being speaker and then you will be dropped.
Make sure I get something.
So, but I think he calculated very well so that he gets a soft landing. After failing being speaker, now he's a whip. So I agree, he's a very good scenario builder. So I think I have confidence in them. They will deliver. We have the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, who is experienced now, and like in the past when he had to just run in the job like that and learn on it. But he did a good job even when he was new. But now that he comes in with the experience working with the 3 speakers, and learning from the 11th Parliament, I'm sure he will manage. The unity of the opposition was a critical issue in the 11th Parliament because they were unable to work together as a team.
Right.
Many of them decried being excluded from decisions. They felt that NUP was doing everything alone. They were not involved. You remember there was a member who even brought a private member's bill so that a LOP is elected by by the members of the whole parliament, or by the members of the opposition, because they felt excluded. They felt the NUP was making them fail to work as a team.
It was not no. You see, some that the president said, some of them are now working with you, and now this has come out. Now they appointed the minister. No, they want actually to be with the opposition. They also want to be with the government. But we have had a discussion, and we shall try to create a solution for that.
Perfect. I have seen the list they have made for committee leaders. They have tried to incorporate members from other political parties, and I think that's a very good start, so that from the beginning they belong and they can work together.
Right.
The unity they exhibited during the election of the speaker was impressive. Actually, for us in the NRM side, we got a little worried that if the opposition maintains this level of unity, they're going to give us a hard time in the House. So we also need to do some reflection, introspection within ourselves, and see, even when you have numbers and you're not united, it is a waste of time.
You have Jen Ruth Acheng to whip you.
Yes, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
We have a very good lady in her.
Yeah, Dr. Wakidda, briefly and lastly on the opposition team.
Let me first say this. When I first sat in Parliament the other day, I was put on the side of the opposition. So all of them clapped. This Mwiru's clapped and said, "This is where you belong. You're one of us."
Because you used to be in FDC.
Because I used to be in opposition. And so I was happy to meet majority of my colleagues that I know. The Mwiru I know, the Senyonyi I've worked with in the past, and all these people. We were seated in that atmosphere. My hope is that they continue to do what opposition is supposed to do. I was involved as a consultant in reviewing all government policies, all of the ministerial policy statements of government, for about 15 years, until when NUP took over, and then my contract was terminated. The purpose for which opposition is set up is to critically look at what government has produced, and therefore criticize and produce an alternative policy. And I was happy to participate during the time of Professor Latigo and during the time of Wakidda. We produced excellent documents. Now, it's going to depend on the unity and the cluster of people they have put in the position of responsibility. I have no doubt in Mwiru, and how I wish Mwiru, you went to chair the accountability committee at a time when even NRM itself is saying, let's fight corruption. And we put every thief to a test so that we know. Because
lastly, as you conclude,
this country is tilting towards qualitative leap. That leap, a leap is to jump over from where you were. From quantity, we have many schools, we have many hospitals, we now want working hospitals. We have many industries producing, but the products they are producing are substandard. So we want them to improve the quality. It is towards a quality output of life and output of products that we produce. And so that we expand and transform this country. Whether you're opposition, whether you're in cabinet, whether you're in the people's cabinet like some of us, or you are in the cabinet of President Museveni, the whole target should be to support the direction and the priorities of government.
Thank you.
For me, that's what I'm going to do.
Thank you, Dr. Wakidda. Thank you, Honorable Nakut Faith, and thank you, Honorable Paul Mwiru, for honoring our invitation. Let's just wait and see how the next 5 years will look like. When you talked about jumping from quantity to quality, and then having many schools, I saw Honorable Nakut look at you and say, the schools in Karamoja are not even there. But thank you so much. This has been The Big Talk. We return on Monday, 7 to 8 p.m. Good morning.
106.1 Next Radio.